Good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 4 of this Prime conference. We've had a fantastic 3 days so far, and my name is Gerard Farias. I'm from Fairleigh Dickinson University, and I'm going to briefly walk you through the day yesterday and then introduce today's session. Just to note, please remember that these sessions are being recorded and they will be available to you uh, later at the end after the conference. So yesterday we started the day with a really inspiring and wonderful session from James Corwell, who has taken us on this mission, or his mission of feeding 12 billion people uh, by the end of this century. At least he's taking on this challenge of how we might be able to provide food for 12 billion people at the end of the century, uh, based mostly on a plant-based diet, which I think is a very inspiring mission and something we should all find ways to support. That was followed by a very interesting multidisciplinary panel from Rowan University, led by Susanna Santos, and included Jordan Howell, Jennifer Madden, Dilip Mirchandani, Ted Howell, and Yannick Kluch. I hope I pronounced your name right, Yannick. But that was really interesting because they're working across disciplines to develop this sustainability mindset, which I think is so much in alignment with our mission here. Uh, Arash Azadigan, I hope I pronounced his name right, then moderated a session on the UN SDGs and how they're linked to sustainable innovation, something we will really need in the future. That his panelists included Keith Adams, Kathy Fulton, Erica Gralla, and Ayana Sheen. That was interestingly a mix of academia and practice, which again is something we need to do much more of. Gail Britton then uh, took us on the question of how we might address gender equity, calling on all women, girls, and including transgender, really raising some of the very difficult and appalling information and statistics about the treatment of women and girls all across the world, from education to violence and a bunch of other issues, which is a key sustainable development goal. So something we all need to pay attention to. Um, Arturo Osorio Fernandez and Maria Corradini at uh, in room B at the same time led a session on managing growing ventures using service learning approaches for sustainable transformation. Uh, Following that, Tracy Chang took us on a very interesting uh, session on existential intelligence and the business of inclusive well-being, including a 4 to 5 minute session on mindfulness and the practice of thoughtfulness, I guess, about how we might approach bringing us into the spiritual realm of sustainability. Um, the Carmen Bonilla led us on led a panel of Michael Bizdak of Johnson & Johnson, Lax Natarajan from Marsh and McLennan, and Eben Goodstein on careers in sustainability. What might our students whom we teach expect and how might they prepare for a career in sustainability? Um, Enrique Nunez of Ramapo College uh, addressed one of those important things of how the practical side of sustainability, how we might use life cycle assessment and how to integrate this into a strategy course. Uh, uh, Rachel Schwam and Molly Pasacantando took us on an experience at Rutgers in how students can get engaged in greenhouse gas solutions, uh, working on a project that they worked on over several months at Rutgers. Uh, Neil Boyd and Eric Martin from Bucknell then took us to, again, another multidisciplinary project out in the field, service learning, about enhancing deprived communities uh, that have been impacted heavily by economic problems, and how the school and the students could get involved in changing the dynamic at places like the ones they were talking about. Uh, then we traveled to Brazil, and Alexandria Garcia and David Siasca and Flavio Cao uh, first addressed how uh, whether Brazilian business schools prepare future financial executives to account for sustainable development goals, such a critical thing that we all need to pay attention to. We then traveled into the Amazon with Lara Liboni, Luciana Cesarino, Solange de Dos Reis, and Flavio Martins, who talked about how they could engage and about the intersection between environmental justice, social justice, and how we could use these experiences even in our neighborhoods and to enhance student awareness about these issues. And then a highlight of the day, uh, we had this wonderful panel of students, Jordan Thomas of Princeton University, Joanna Contarino of Rowan, Annalise Dyer of Fairleigh Dickinson University, Kathleen Parrish of Rutgers University, Jamila Ritters of Rutgers, moderated by Ashwini Vashist from Ramapo. And if we've had any doubts about hope for the future, if you attended that session, and if you didn't, please watch the recording. That will truly give you hope for the future. We are in good hands, and I hope these students are able to leverage their passion and concern for the future and for our planet, and wish them really well. If our students are like that, then we should have hope. So that was the day for yesterday. I will introduce, of course, so a few of us met in the social hour after that and had a fun time. So I will now introduce the coming day, where uh, Karen Davis and Elena Feliz will talk about transforming our thinking and co-creating sustainable systems for future generations through organization development. Janet Galvanek will talk about preserving employment for an aging society, focusing on the SDG that I forget the number, on health and wellness. Um, at the same time, Anthony O'Donnell and Michael Manzik of TRC Companies will talk about bringing policy to life, successful outreach, approaches for energy efficiency in public facilities, uh, and in at at the same time, room B, uh, Piyushi Sharma will talk about how firms use sustainability signaling to harvest a profitable position. Um, at 10:55, Santoshi Inuganti and Parul Jain will talk about ESG and awareness in the retirement and mutual fund space. Please note that these events take place in different Zoom rooms, Zoom A, Zoom B. So please use the Entergy app to navigate yourself to the right place based on the sessions you want to attend. At 11:30, we have our keynote speaker for the day, Daniel Dodd, who's an activist, artist, photographer, social entrepreneur, who I hope will challenge us to think much more broadly about this, this mission that we have embarked on of sustainability. Uh, it is truly an all-encompassing field, and Daniel Dodd will provide us with yet one more angle to how and a lens through which to view the challenges we face in the future. So mark that and please attend. I think it's going to be a wonderful session. Uh, that will be followed by Michael Pearson introducing us to appreciative inquiry as a preparation for the dialogue session for the students that will follow. Michael will talk us through appreciative inquiry and prepare us for that session. This will be followed by a dialogue session where our student attendees will go into breakout rooms and talk about co-creating responsible business schools for a better world. And I really, really look forward to the outcome of that session because we really need to learn a lot about what our future will look like. That will be followed by, that brings us really to the end of the conference and the end of the day. We'll have closing remarks by President Holloway of Rutgers University. So please be present as we end this conference. And then Gina Werdenberg, who's been the power behind this whole program, will address us with and discuss next steps for the future. So with that, I think I'm a little early, but thank you very much. And we look forward to another great day at this conference. A couple of things that I need to is make sure you provide the feedback on the Entergy app. And again, remember that there are concurrent sessions today, so choose your room A or room B as appropriate based on your preferences for the sessions you want to attend. Thank you and have a really great learning-full day today.
Thank you, Gerard. That was a wonderful summary of yesterday. Everybody could see how incredibly rich and full and inspiring it was. I couldn't agree more that the students were so inspiring and amazing.